Hey yo, GOAT format players, it's Skilled Brown Magician here, and I have my 100 sub special deck profile. Shoutouts to all my subs. I can't believe I have 100 people watching my videos. I have 100 subscribers. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys. Your comments, your likes, your subs, your feedback, your views, all of that kind of stuff is what makes me want to create more and more content for you guys. So I wanted to highlight a very special deck that I've been talking about since the very beginning of my channel, and it's actually my HORUS Gate deck, and let's get into it. So I'm really stoked to be showing you the real life profile of this deck. I don't think it's quite as optimized as my profile that I have online, but this will suffice for now. So here's the build that I have in person. I have 2 HORUS the Black Flame Dragon, level 8. He basically comes out only off of HORUS level 6's effect, and while he's face up on your side of the field, negate the activation and effect of any spell cards and destroy them. And it's during either player's turn. So if your opponent activates Pot of Greed during their turn, you can just say no. If they activate Book of Moon during your turn, you can just say no, negate it. Super awesome. Negate all sorts of stuff with it. Everyone uses spells. This is a Reasoning Gate deck, so we have 1 copy of Demox, so we can get the special summon or normal summon effect and get that spell in graveyard and add it back to hand. And since it's Reasoning Gate, if you see him, it's pretty much game over because you can get such powerful spells with it. Since this is HORUS Gate, we run Triple Fusilier, and the reason we run Triple Fusilier is because he combos with Metamorphosis to go into King Dragoon, which is the fusion card that says protect all dragons from any effects, whether it's spell, trap, or monster effects that target. So return this into King Dragoon because you can normal summon him or set him without tributing. But his original attack and defense become halved, so he's 1400 attack and 1000 defense, but the important thing is that he'll still be a level 7, so you can use meta and then you can turn him into King Dragoon. So that's why we run triple copies of him, because if you can Reasoning or Monster Gate into him and you have a meta in hand, it sets you up. Then we run 3 copies of HORUS the Black Flame Dragon, level 6. He is unaffected by spell cards, and also during the end phase, if he destroys any monster, whether it's a Scapegoat token, face down Magician of Faith, if he destroys something by battle and sends it to the graveyard, just destroys a monster by battle, you can send him to the graveyard during your end phase, special summon out a Black Flame Dragon level 8 from hand or deck. Then I run the Spice in 1 copy of Mirage Dragon, and his effect is that he's a 4-star, he's a light, you might not have heard of him, but he basically is a pseudo Jinzo, because your opponent can't activate trap cards during the battle phase. And what's nice about it, he's a dragon. So King Dragoon's secondary effect is that it actually allows you to special summon any dragon from hand, including Mirage Dragon. So you can special summon this guy out, and now when you enter your battle phase, your opponent can't use Mirror Force, can't use any of those traps that are going to try to stop you from going for game. So really nice, special summonable off of King Dragoon. And what's nice is he's level 4, and it's better than, in my opinion, it's better than running Jinzo, because if you run Jinzo, he's another level 6, and you're already running 3 level 6s. So that's to kind of get around the Reasoning calls by running 1 level 4. And then we also run 1 copy of Cyberstein. You pay 5,000 life points, special summon any fusion monster from your from your fusion deck, sorry. So his effect, super good. The original premise when I first built this deck in, the end of December last year, it was like right around New Year's that I came up with this deck, a Reasoning Gate version of HORUS, and I was running triple Cyberstein and triple level 6, triple Fusilier, and I loved it because you're running 2s, 6s, and 7s, which no one ever calls. So if they call a 4 in this deck, it's pretty much guaranteed that you're going to get something unless you have really bad luck and they do hit the Mirage. But such a good card. Cyberstein really helps you go into King Dragoon faster, and he can also bring out Master of Oz for game shots. And he's just a utility card. And he has some really cool synergy with Monster Gate as well, because you can normal summon him, special summon King Dragoon, and you'll still have a body on field, and he's in attack, and he only has 700 attack, and you've already paid 5,000 life points, so you don't want to get, you don't want him getting swung over by some monster, because it'll put you in really dangerous territory. So you can actually use Monster Gate to tribute him off and go into another one of your monsters. Alright, now we have the draw power. We have Pot of Greed, Graceful, and Card Destruction. I actually really like Card Destruction in this variation because pitching monsters to graveyard is actually not a bad thing. And I'll explain why later. We run one copy of Snatch Steal. It helps our Monster Gate plays. Steal their monster, Monster Gate it away. You can also go Snatch, and then you can go Metamorphosis, depending on what level monster you steal. So this is a versatile card, and it's always nice to just take a monster. I'm able to squeeze in 2 copies of Nobleman of Crossout. You really need this card. You do not want to go up against Cyberjar. You need to knock it because Cyberjar is a mirror force on legs, and there's nothing you can do, in this deck at least, to chain to it and stop it. So knock, really important in this deck. And I know it's kind of counterintuitive because you want your level 6s to destroy monsters, but there's a lot of times where you're just trying to go for your game shot and you need to clear their face down because you've already cleared their back road with Trunade. So knock's really good in this deck. Like I said before, this is a razonamiento deck, which means reasoning. I got some of the, I have a German and I think a Spanish version of reasoning, and I still need my English copy, my English gold copy of reasoning. But this is a reasoning gate, so we have triple reasoning. And what's really nice is that typically they're not able to call it on your first reasoning because you're not playing the normal reasoning gate deck. You're playing such weird levels. You have 2s, 6s, 7s, only one level 8, only one level 4. And most people will call level 4 or level 8. So this is pretty much a free summon in this deck. So gas. Monster Gate. This card is so good, especially with Cyberstein. And it's really nice to just get monsters off the field to potentially go into the monster that you're missing. So if you're missing, you know, that level 6 to go into your level 8, maybe you contribute off your Fusilier for your Monster Gate and then go into level 6 because you have your 3 level 6s in deck, right? So Monster Gate, it just allows you to kind of get monsters into the graveyard, and it also allows you to kind of search for those last missing combo pieces that you may need to get your lock. Then, obvious, you're playing triple Scapegoat, triple meta. I think meta is so good in this deck because you have level 6, so you can go into Ryu Senshi, and then you also have, obviously, Fusilier to go into your King Dragoon plays. So meta is such a good card, and what's nice is in most decks, I feel like you have to see Scapegoat and Metamorphosis in conjunction for it to be any good. But in this deck, Metamorphosis is such a good standalone card. You can even Metamorphosis your D-Mock to go into a Gatling Dragon, clear back row, or sorry, clear their face downs, and then swing in for game. So Metamorphosis, just a really good standalone card in this deck. So I play United We Stand because this deck does swarm, especially with Cyberstein and King Dragoon's special summons. So King Dragoon just allows you to special summon dragons from hand, so you know you're going to have monsters. Also, pretty obvious, we have Scapegoat. So United We Stand just gets us into game shots because it can essentially, it could potentially double some of our monsters' attacks. If we have just a King Dragoon, a level 6, and one other monster on field, with those 3 monsters, you've already increased your monster's attack by 2,400. Because the equipped monster gains 800 attack for each face-up you control, so it can really beef up your guys and it can help you push for game. This deck can be pretty aggressive, and it can also form locks at the same time, so super neat. I like United We Stand. And then we're running the Giant Trunade engine, which is 1 copy of Swords of Revealing Light, 3 copies of Giant Trunade for the loop, and then also Premature Burial. So this is why this deck can be really aggro, and it's why I actually run Triple Fusilier. It's because if you have Giant Trunade and you're able to loop Prima, and you're able to get back any of your monsters, even potentially a Cyberstein, because you have the life points, man, this card's really good. It helps you OTK, brings back a 2800 beater, brings back 2300 attacker that can also transform into level 8. This card's really good in the deck, especially in tandem with Giant Trunade. So really love the Giant Trunade engine in here, and it helps you go for your game shots because you have to clear their back row. So here's where I play Reasoning Gate a little different than all the builds that I've seen online. I actually run a way different trap lineup, and I believe that's what really separates Horus Gate players, is what are the traps that they're playing. I know that it's really easy to fall for Royal Decree because it's nice to have, you know, level 8s negate all spells and then decrees negate all traps. But if you think about it, negating traps, it's a little bit redundant because King Dragoon actually protects you from being targeted by any traps. So the only traps that you're really concerned about are things like Torrential, things like Mirror Force, and really that's about it. I guess Threatening Roar can stop you from swinging in and attacking, but not a lot of people play it. So Decree, I just don't think is really that optimal in a Horus Gate deck, and I actually think a much better trap lineup is 2 Solemn and 3 Dust. And let me explain the rationale behind this. I really like this because first of all, we have the synergy with Trap Dust Shoot and Solemn. Trap Dust Shoot allows you to see their hand, and not only that, it allows you to bounce back all those problematic monsters. I can't tell you, when you see Tribe with this, it's like the best feeling because you just say, yeah, put that Tribe back in the deck, I'm good on that. Put that Cyberjar back in the deck, put that DD Warrior Lady back in the deck, and also it allows you to see their hand. So that pairs really well with Solemn Judgment because now you know what you need to Solemn because you've seen their hand. So if you see that Mirror Force and then you bounce back their monster and they only have spells in hand, you know all their spells are dead because you'll most likely have your level 8 up. So you have that one Mirror Force in hand, you know you have the out to it. The reason I only play 2 Solemn is because I actually play My Body as a Shield as like my 3rd copy of Solemn. Just because life points can be an issue in this deck because of Cyberstein's effect to pay 5,000. You really do want to be able to keep that ability on at all times to be able to use Cyberstein's effect. It's just so good, and it's such a utility card because it can help you fusion summon into whatever card you need. So My Body, what's nice too, you can hold it in hand because it's quick play. So you can just have it in hand, have nothing in back row, and be swinging in for game. And they use their Mirror Force, and then you just say, pay 1,500, stop it, and I'm going to attack for game now. And just using this from hand is so useful. And then you can also set it too, and it'll kill their Tribe Infecting Virus because that's an effect that destroys monsters. It's just really neat, and I think it's a good card in this deck. But man, I can't tell you guys enough. Trap Dust Shoot in this deck is so good because imagine you combo this with any one copy of Giant Trunade, and guess what? More often than not, they're going to have the cards in hand because you need to have 4 cards in hand to use Dust Shoot, but Giant Trunade helps get you there because guess what? They're going to have dead spells in hand, and guess what every player does when they have dead spells? They set it as bluffs. So they'll put those bluffs down, they'll have multiple cards in back row, bounce with Trunade, now your Trap Dust Shoot's live. When they draw next turn, you see all of their back row that they had set, if you didn't know what it was before, and you get to bounce something back. So just the synergy with Trunade and the ability to know what you need to negate, it's just so good, and I really like Dust Shoot, and I don't know why I haven't seen anyone play it in Reasoning Gate. I think it's really good, and Hand Knowledge is powerful. So that's my Reasoning Gate take on Horus. I run a really small normal summon lineup. You'll see I run 2 Horus level 8s because you don't want to mill your only copy off of Monster Gate and Reasoning. So you run 2 in here. But as far as the monsters that can be summoned off of Monster Gate and Reasoning, we have, I believe it's just 9? Yeah, we have 9 monsters. So it's really easy to do the math because technically this is the way that I break it up in my head. I have my 3 level 6s, my 3 level 7s, and then I have my 3 off, which is going to be Demok, Mirage Dragon, Cyberstein, but then I have 3 and 3 of each. So this makes the math really easy to do in your head, because if you have a Fusilier in hand and you have a Fusilier in grave, and you know, man, I really need to Reasoning or Monster Gate into my level 6 so I can get my lockup, it's actually pretty easy to do, because you'll know statistically, oh man, I have 2 of my level 7s out, there's a really strong chance that I'm going to get a Horus level 6. So there's definitely ways that you can work around this deck, and definitely has grind potential, especially with the Scapegoat tokens. United We Stand helps push for game. Just so many cool interactions that this deck has. And let me show you really quick my fusion. These are the main ones that you're going to be running, that you're going to see the most often. King Dragoon. This should basically just be a King Dragoon turbo deck, because he's the MVP. Makes it so all your dragons can't be targeted by card effects, whether it's monster, spell, or trap. Also, something crazy, you just special summon a dragon monster from your hand for free. So it's just really good. Then, triple Thousand Eyes Restrict. Really good with Scapegoat and meta. And more so than that, it tandems really well, because if you meta a Scapegoat token into Thousand Eyes Restrict, you gobble up one of their face downs, and guess what? You haven't normal summoned yet. So you contribute off your Thousand Eyes for your level 6, and then you go into your play. So I really like that synergy. Also Ryu Senshi, because we have meta and we're playing 3 level 6s, you can go into Ryu Senshi fairly often. He's basically a Jinzo that can't be targeted. And, well, he's unaffected by spells, period. And you just pay 1,000 life points to stop normal traps. He's really clutch because we don't run Decree, so he can be nice. Master of Oz, we go into him with Cyberstein to go for game shots, because you attack with Horus, clear their face down monster, clear their monster, and then now you swing in with Master of Oz for 4,200, go for game. He's really nice. We can go into Dark Bolter sometimes, we can go into Fiend Skull sometimes with Cyberstein if we need them. We also have Fusilier, so we can go into the Last Warrior from another planet for the Reasoning Gate matchups. And then I have my Scapegoat tokens. I just wanted to do something a little different, so I got these dual Avatar Spirit tokens. I don't even know where they're from, but that's my fusion deck. Obviously, you can run whatever fusions you want. We know this is GOAT format. Just put whatever you need. Man, I love this deck, and I love all of you guys for subbing and supporting the channel. I know this has been a long time waiting, so I hope you enjoy, and I hope to hear some feedback from you guys. Tell me what you think of my card choices, and I hope you guys all take care, and I hope that we can keep growing this channel. Appreciate each and every one of you guys, and I hope you guys get some wins with my favorite deck of GOAT format. Alright, hope you like the real life profile. Take care, guys. Peace.